So let's walk through the loan process of the $10,000 grant available through the SBA under the EIDL program. So the Economic Injury Disaster Aid Loan Program. So let's walk through that, and I'm going to show you exactly step by step how to do it. All right. So you start off on the COVID-19 relief.sba.gov. This is the site right here. We're going to go under here and we're going to say that you are for most of us, you're either going to be a business with not more than 500 employees, or you're going to be an individual who operates a sole proprietorship with or without employees. Okay. So let's say this is you, right? We're going to go there. You may fall under any one of these other categories, but let's say that's you. And then we're going to confirm that we don't have an issue with any of these areas. So, no illegal activity, accurate. I'm not the principal of a business that is delinquent in child support payments. All right, I'll agree with that. It's not an agricultural enterprise like a farm. All right, does not represent, it's not a sexual prurient business. So yeah, I think you get the gist of that. I don't get more than a third of my annual income out of legal gambling. I'm not a lobbyist. And then I don't work for the government, state, local, or municipal. So if I can answer those and say, nope, don't have any of those issues, then I'll hit continue, right? So here, let's show you. I'm going to have to jump to the continue screen because I actually already started it. And do that right here. Okay, so now we're actually in the application. It says it's going to take 2 hours and 10 minutes. Realistically, if you have your financial, if you have an income report, or you know what you made in the last 12 months, especially if you're, independent contractor, sole proprietor, self-employed, you may be able to pull that report pretty quickly. If you need to talk to your CPA or your financial HR department, payroll department to pull your income statement, then you need to do that because this does need to be accurate. Don't make up stuff. That said, in order for us to go through this, I made up some stuff just so you can see what the process is. So name of my company is Provision Brokerage. I do have a DBA, a trade name doing business as Safe Money Advice. That's about all I'm going to put on here for my information. What is the tax ID number for your corporation? Or if it's not, if you're, independent contractor, this is where you'd put your social, right here. And then what type of business is it? So for me, it's a sole proprietorship, but it could be a C Corp, an S Corp, limited liability. You may be an independent contractor, which means you got a 1099. So I'm going to click this. Is it a nonprofit? Nope. Sometimes it feels that way, but no, it is for profit. Is it part of a franchise? No. Now, this is where you're going to need to look at an income statement or pull up your taxes or 1099s or something like that. So gross revenue for the last 12 months prior to the disaster. So let's say in your case, it's, let's say you're a solo independent contractor. It may be 100,000. It may be $1 million. It may be 10 million. That's going to vary. Cost of goods sold. This is if you're literally having to keep supplies of stuff that you sell, like you own a store, or you have a maybe essential oils business where you're having to keep a bunch of supplies that you actually sell those, not that you're using them in your business, right? If you bought a computer for your office for your employees, I'm told, I'm an entrepreneur myself, I'm told that's not a cost of goods. Cost of goods is literally you're buying stuff and then you're then selling it. So for most of us, it's probably going to be zero. Again, speak to your tax preparer or banker or something like that. So I'm not giving investment advice, tax advice, legal advice, any of that. I'm just trying to help you figure out how we did it and how I walked through it. Now, the rest of these boxes, For most of us, you're not going to have an answer here. You're going to leave it blank. And that's why it doesn't have one of these red asterisks next to it. So do you have rental property? If so, have you lost rent due to the disaster? How much? Do you have a nonprofit cost of operating for the last 12 months prior to the disaster? Well, don't have a nonprofit corporation or entity. Combined annual operating expenses if you're a faith-based entity. So you're like a church, but specifically for secular social services. So how much is that for the last 12 months? What are those things? And that would be like if you had, a food pantry or clothing, that would be secular services, social services. If you had, doctors and dentists coming in or health professionals, maybe. I think that's my understanding on what that would be. Compensation from other sources received as a result of the disaster. So if you've received other compensation as a result, like one of the other loan programs or something like that, and then you need to explain what that is. Next, what's your address? So, this is your business address. Where's that? That may be your home. So you're going to put that in. Fax, alternate phone numbers and stuff like that. What's your email? What's the date that you established your business? How long have you owned that business? So it's probably the same day. Type of business. Now that some of these are fun. Business services. You can go here. Again, pick what's accurate to you. I was just kind of having fun on here. I want to be actually even better than business services. There's, I think, personal services. So you may be pet washing, or you may be tattoo artist, lawn and garden, interior design, hair and nail, dry cleaners, annual memberships, right? So let's say you're tanning and tattoo, and you're a solopreneur. It's just you. You're your only employee. You're self-employed, something like that, right? So whatever that is, put that in there, right? All right, moving on. Is your business owned by another business entity? So my case, no, probably for most of you, no, but if it is, that's going to be important. So you're going to have to put that in there. But is it owned? And then who's the owner of your business? So, this would be me. So I put that in there, your name, your phone number, your title, owner percentage, your email, what's your social, your date of birth, your place of birth. So like your state that you were born in, maybe city, state, it doesn't specify. Are you a US citizen? And then your home address, right? What's my home address? What city, what state? Your zip, you may notice that zip and it seemed familiar. And then go on to the next page. And we're about at the finish line here. So in the past year, has your business been convicted, or the listed owner been convicted of a criminal offense with connection to a riot, civil disorder, other declared disaster, or been engaged in production or distribution of any product or service that's been determined to be obscene by a court of competent jurisdiction? So if that's a yes, I don't think you qualify for any of these things. Is the applicant listed or currently suspended or disbarred from contracting with the federal government or receiving grants or loans? Hopefully that's a no. Are you presently subject to an indictment, criminal arraignment, or have formal criminal charges or brought in any jurisdiction? Have you been arrested in the last 6 months for a criminal offense? For any criminal offense other than a minor traffic violation, because those don't count. Have you been convicted, pled guilty, nolo contendere, been placed on pretrial diversion, or been placed in any form of probation, including probation before a judge? No. So you're going to have to answer no to all of those questions. Is anyone assisting you in this? Now, we can help with that, but I'm walking you through it, so hopefully you don't need some help. But if you do, we're happy to help. And this would be the individual's name, the name of their company, their phone number, their city and state, right, where they live, and then what fee has been charged or agreed upon. So I know a lot of companies out there charging $500, $1,000 to help with that. I think you can do it on your own. If we're going to do it for you, there's a fee involved, but But yeah, I think most people can do it on their own, especially after watching this. And then I give permission for the SBA to discuss that with this representative. Yes or no. I would like to be considered for the 10,000. So you're gonna have to check this. And then where do they send the funds? They're going to direct deposit it. So you're going to have to give them your bank information. So, put in the name of your bank, whether that's Chase or whoever, right? Bank of America, my local bank. What's your bank account number? Clearly mine is not that. If you say that number, you may think of a song. And then routing number obviously is not 90210, but that would be pretty cool. And then so you put that information in here, you read all of these disclaimers that say if you break the law and lie to them, you're in deep trouble. And then you certify under penalty of the law that everything is true and correct. What happens is next, it's actually going to bring up a summary and it's going to submit it. So here, we'll show you that. It's actually going to give you a summary of everything you just did and all the information you put in, who your agent is, all of your answers. And then you're going to say, I'm not a robot, and you're going to submit. I'm not going to do that because I just made up answers so you can see how it works. But that is the full process of applying. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully now you're more aware of how to do it. If you want to know where to go to apply, again, that's covid19relief.sba.gov. If you have questions, let us know. Thanks, and look forward to talking.